Bethesda and Arkane brought Dishonored 2 to EGX, making it the first time anywhere in the world that it's been publicly playable, and I was one of the people to actually get to play it there, so I feel very lucky. So here are some first impressions on what I thought of the playable demo of Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2 does a good job in keeping the unique design and art style that worked so well in the previous game. Sebastian Mitton is the art director for Dishonored 2, and he actually gave a developer talk at EGX, which I was also present for. He said that they wanted to keep a lot of the character that worked from the first Dishonored that gave it such a unique feel. And that's something that I think that served them well going into Dishonored 2. It's definitely kept some of the design choices and aspects in terms of the art direction, but they have expanded on it in terms of graphics. It does look definitely sharper as it would for one of the new current gen consoles, PS4, Xbox One and PC, but they've expanded it further. One thing I found in the first game is, though it looked very good and I loved the art direction, it did feel quite claustrophobic in many places because it was set just within this one city. There were some expanses, but you didn't get much of a chance to really experience them that much. You do get a very different feel in Dishonored 2. You don't get to see a lot of the city of Karnaca, where Dishonored 2 is set, but on your way to the starting point of the mission that was playable, you do get a quick glimpse as you're travelling there, and you definitely get a different feel and a different character to the city that this is played in, and that's even only in the few seconds that you actually see it in the opening moments of the demo. So I do think they've done a good job in keeping the character from the first game while being able to give this new setting its own feel, which is good to see. The gameplay feels immediately familiar to anyone who's played the original Dishonored, sneaking behind guards to take them out silently, then hiding their bodies, or blinking around like a maniac before dropping from a high vantage point for a suitably brutal kill. It all felt very familiar to the previous game. I haven't played Dishonored for a while, but it didn't take me long to become accustomed to the controls. That's always a good sign when you're playing a 15-minute demo that doesn't take the time to give you a lengthy tutorial at the start. It just drops you in, and the controls immediately feel very intuitive and easy to grasp. There were two choices to actually play through for this demo. You could choose to be Corvo, who was the playable character from the first Dishonored and would be familiar to anyone who has played the first Dishonored, or you could be Emily Caldwin. Now, I didn't get the chance to play as Emily, but my wife did, and she said that she does feel more acrobatic, a little bit faster maybe than Corvo, so it does seem like they've given the two characters a definite flair and different style in their gameplay. So that's going to be a good thing for replayability in the game and being able to play through from the two perspectives of the two different characters. You're not going to feel like you're necessarily playing exactly the same game. It's going to be a slightly different experience, which is, again, a very good thing. The level design is absolutely phenomenal. The Clockwork Mansion changes around you, with rooms disappearing up into the ceiling, walls rising from the floor to make a shifting labyrinth, and the motion and fluidity of the level adds a unique challenge to the gameplay. Multiple paths to your objectives open up. There are many possibilities and approaches to situations, and 15 minutes just was not enough time to explore them all. This mansion just felt brilliant, and the audio cues were great as well as part of that design. You could hear the gears and the clockwork working in the background as you pulled levers to shift rooms, as hallways twisted, floors came into view, elevators rose. Everything just seemed to fit really, really well. And again, this was just a quick 15-minute demo, and it gave me a very, very good impression of this mansion. The enemies in the game have also had a tweak. In the first Dishonored, you basically fought pretty much just human enemies, except for the occasional point where you fought the rats. Now, you did have variations on the humans. You had the tall boys, as well as your standard city guards, which was good, but it was always very human. One thing you do find in the Clockwork Mansion is you have the Clockwork Soldiers. Now, they are much, much tougher to kill than a standard human. You can sneak up behind a human, stab them in the back, or knock them out. But with the Clockwork Soldiers, you can't always use the same tactics on them as you can with the standard human. They are much harder to kill than standard human enemies. There was a point in one of the rooms in the Clockwork Mansion where I managed to remove the heads from two of the Clockwork Soldiers with well-placed pistol shots, and they still kept coming after me. They couldn't see me, so they were stumbling around a bit and didn't know exactly where I was, but it just shows how tough they are. Headshots weren't enough to destroy them. You had to destroy the entire body and take them apart. And that's actually quite interesting. It adds a little bit more flavour to the gameplay and adjusts your approach to how you tackle enemies. The only thing that saved me from these two Clockwork Soldiers was when they actually bumped into each other and attacked each other blindly, thinking they'd encountered me. Well, that's really cool. It's a good way of approaching this type of enemy. You take out their vision, and if they bump into each other, they will attack each other. And I really like that little bit of character and that bit of flair to these Clockwork Soldiers. It was very, very cool. Another tactic you can use is if you find the cans of whale oil, which makes an appearance again from the first Dishonored, you can throw it at the Clockwork Soldiers before they discover you, before they activate, and destroy them before they have a chance to attack you. But be warned, the noise could attract other enemies to your location, so you either need to be prepared for a fight or get out of there pretty quickly. So my overall impressions: this was a lot of fun. It has the familiar feel of the first game, but adds enough new content and tweaks to gameplay and level design to feel fresh. If the rest of the game has the same innovation as this Clockwork Mansion level that was playable at EGX, it's going to be something very special indeed. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my first impressions of Dishonored 2. It's something I'm really looking forward to. I loved the first game, I'm really looking forward to this one coming out. If you liked the video, hit the like button down below, that's what it's there for. If you want to see more from me, click subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, Z's!